goals, some which you may not realize. Some of you may. You are now, in a sense, an entrepreneur, and this is your business. And so you take on the role of chairman, president, and CEO, all the way down to janitor, and everything in between. And when you run this business successfully, you will do things like, or you will do recruiting, and you will do customer service, and you will do training, and you will be the retention department, and you will handle complaints, and you will do a little bit of everything, because this truly is a business. And I think it's important for you to know that all of the aspects that come with a business, you're going to touch on sometime in this business. Okay? This business is going to reward you differently. Each of you have different reasons why you got involved. Some of you it's health, some of you you're looking for something different, some it might be the social aspect. For a lot of people it's money, but you have different reasons why. How you work this business, in a sense, will determine what you make. And Rachel can testify to this, that if you put some time and effort into the front end of this, okay, the first few months that you put into this, you really put some time and effort into this, it's going to reward you more so than any business that you could probably do yourself, okay, or any job that you might have. You build your business, you build it strong from the beginning, you get it working, and the rewards are going to be greater than most people expect. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yes.
Would you say that what you've seen is, okay?
Definitely.
And as you build a strong team, as you have and as others have, you'll find that that the return, I don't want to use the phrase easy. This is not hard work. You have to put in time and effort, but it's not hard work.
So
Okay? Yeah, the work itself is not difficult. Okay? You put time and effort on the front end, and you build a strong team, and you are going to see some amazing returns later on. Okay, so one of the first things I would tell you, the first few months, put in the time, put in the effort, learn as much as you can about the company and about the products. Keep it simple when you're sharing. And we'll get into a little bit more, we'll talk a little more about that, but learn as much as you can. Treat this as if it was your business. Now, I don't know how many of you are on some of the team pages. You should be on Facebook. People are using Twitter. They're using the one where you send the pictures out. Instagram. Okay, people are having tremendous success using these tools because social media is how people communicate. Okay, you should be on all of those. You should be on team pages as well. You should be involved. You should be attending corporate events. There is something about the corporate events that just will charge and rejuvenate you. Rachel and I and some of you, we were just in Atlanta. And even though they're telling you things that we've all heard, there's just something about being there with all of those people and hearing Mark Pentecost, the founder and the CEO, and his wife, and Pam and Mike, hearing them talk about the company and about the direction that they're heading and the things that they're doing that's going to re-energize you and charge you. So take time to attend corporate events. We live 2.5 hours from Bradenton, where the company is headquartered. They have green carpets and they have various events down there. Take the trip, go down there for a day or two. Meet Mark and Cindy and Pam and Mike. They're people just like us. I mean, you can sit down and talk with them. They're very approachable. There's something very genuine about them. There's nothing haughty. Mark's not up there in a $2,000 suit, telling you about his mansion. And he has a pretty nice house, but there's not pictures of his mansion and all of his sports cars. I mean, they're very down-to-earth people, and there's a very religious overtone with them as well. Before the meetings, we pray. But they're very genuine people, and I think that's important for you to know. And I don't know how long many of you have been in the business, but this really is a great opportunity. A little bit about the business. Recently, it was awarded, and the question that you asked, I think it was the Bravo Momentum Award. That's given out by Direct Selling News at a conference in Dallas. This took place back in April. And that's for a company that is growing, that has tremendous growth. So we received that award. Last month, Mark Pentecost received the Florida Entrepreneur of the Year Award. And some of you may have seen that. The company is also one of the fastest growing direct sales companies, top 100. It's one of the fastest growing private companies in Florida. So this is a real company, and these people have a roadmap for this company. And they want this company to grow. They want it to be one of the most successful private companies in the country, and they are working to make that happen. Okay? So you have a good opportunity here. It is a business opportunity. Have fun with it. Okay? This was the end of the month. Everyone was working on promoting. My wife calls all night long, people just going crazy, wanting to make sure that everything was in line, women crying, women staying up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, charting. Have all of you, have you had an opportunity to do some type of charting with your charts? Okay. Very important, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well, but going through all of this and just working themselves into a frenzy. You need to treat that, this is the way I phrase it. Have fun on the front end, enjoy it, okay? Share what you've learned, share what you've found with people. Have fun on the front end, but treat it like a business on the back end. Keep track of what people are doing, what your distributors are doing, what your loyal customers are doing. There was one young lady that called up that was ready to promote to, I think it was triple or presidential, and one of her top line did not have their auto ship on. She had gone through everybody on all the levels, and just something simple, like someone on her top line that she should know intimately didn't have their auto ship on. And now that promotion is in jeopardy. It's not that she can't do it next month, but you put a lot of time and effort into promoting, okay, when those times come. So make sure everything is in line. So again, have fun on the front end. Share this just like you would, I always say, share it like you found a recipe or a movie or a book, something that you've come across that you really love. Don't think about selling it, okay? One of the things that many of you will hear when you talk to your friends or other people about this is, I'm not going to be any good at this because I'm not a salesperson. Okay, I've never been in sales, or I don't know anything about sales. Salespeople can use some of the techniques that they've learned, but there is a tremendous aspect in this, and it's just sharing it. Don't get so serious about it. You've all heard the phrase KISS, K-I-S-S, okay, keep it simple. And that is the best way to approach this when you're sharing it with people. And some of you may have already experienced this. Just share it. Again, like it's something that you found that you really like. If you went to a restaurant and you tried a recipe and you're talking to your friends or family members, you don't stop and you don't think about, okay, this is how I'm going to start the conversation, this is what I'm going to say about it, and this is how we're, what did you do last night? I went to a new restaurant, great service, great food, loved it, great, simple, easy, and it really is. One of the things that I always mention is, what are two of the most important aspects in people's lives? Their health and their finances. And it seems like everything hinges on those two. Family relationships, spirituality, okay, a lot of times can be influenced by health and finances. So you've got a product here, and you've got an opportunity that addresses both of those. You've got great products. I mean, you should read some of the stories about the Greens and the things that they're doing for people. As a matter of fact, my wife, right before I came here, was talking to a lady whose best friend has a 7-year-old son who's in the hospital because of brain cancer. And they recently gave him, I think, a couple of weeks to live. And one of the things that all of the doctors brought up was that his body, and I want to make sure I phrase this properly, is not properly alkaline. Okay? So his body is not in what's called a homeostatic, right, you're right. He is not properly balanced. Okay? Things are not working the way that they should. And so his body is really an incubator for disease. And my wife just had a conversation with Dr. Don, who is the on-staff doctor for It Works, and they have just gotten a bunch of cans of greens, or these tubs of greens, and they're going to, when you've tried everything else, you've got nothing to lose. They're now going to start giving this 7-year-old boy, greens every day to see if it makes a difference, because it has positively affected other children and other people who have had different types of immune deficiencies and health problems. Okay, so we have a great line of products for your health, a great line of products. We have a product that affects, in a sense, the way that you look quickly. I mean, I don't know how many people post, hey, try a wrap before you go to the beach this weekend. Try a wrap before you go to a party tonight. If you're in a wedding, try a wrap before you get fitted. So it's something that is easy to use. I mean, you think about it. Think about what would be attractive to everyone. It's something that's easy to use. It's inexpensive. Okay? It's easily accessible. And you see results quickly. Okay? Basic things like that. You attach those to any product, and you have a winning combination here. So you have something that's easy to use, that you can use anytime, anywhere, that's effective, that you can see results very quickly. Some people have tremendous results. Some people it takes longer. Okay. One of the things that we also hear and that you'll hear is that, you know, how long do the effects last? And one of the things I like to say is, how many of you color your hair? How many of you get your nails done? Okay, how many of you get your, you know, your haircut? You know, all of these things that you do, this beauty regimen that so many people have, you know, men and women, every few weeks you do something. If you go to the gym, you know, how often do you have to work out before you start seeing results if you go to the gym? Weeks. Weeks. Okay? My wife is a Pilates trainer and a spinning instructor. She would say that there have been people in her classes for months and months who work out, they're strengthening their heart, okay? They're increasing their metabolism, but you know what's not affected? The body. The body is not affected. They still look the same way that they did months ago, okay? Because there are certain things that you have to focus on, and skin is one of the things that really takes a lot of effort to tone and tighten. You can strengthen muscle underneath it, okay? But especially if you've had a lot of children, or if you've had children, or you know, there are just certain things that take longer. And skin, loose skin, is one of the hardest things to tone, tighten, and firm. You have something now that's organic, that's all natural, that can tone, tighten, and firm loose skin. So you have a winning combination of products and a business opportunity. Okay, and those things are very important. So when you think about that, when you think about the company that you're involved in, you know, think about those aspects. And I don't know if I mentioned this at your meeting or not, but you think about the top 5 companies. And if you saw the video, this is something that I mentioned. Health and beauty is one of the top 5 highest grossing companies in the country, behind things like telecommunication, you know, oil and gas. But some of the top producing, some of the top income producing companies, Avon, Revlon, Mary Kay. I mean, these are companies that you guys have heard of and you've been familiar with for years and years. Health and beauty companies are one of the top 5 highest grossing companies in the country. So again, you've got a product. Women, and you know, and it's easy for me to say this because you're all women, and I know that you'll agree. There is a little sense of vanity when it comes to appearance. You've got a product that can affect appearance. You've got the body wraps, you've got the gel, you've got the facials. Okay, these things work on necks. Some of the best results that we're seeing are using the wraps on necks. There was actually a great post this morning. Show me an exercise that you can do, okay, to tighten up the skin on your neck. There is very little that you can do. The only thing that I could think of, and we used to do this when I was in high school in wrestling, you know, you put a weight on your face and you do kind of the neck things, right? It's not healthy for your neck. It strengthens, you know, these muscles, and so it kind of bulks. So there are certain areas that we all have that it's very difficult to affect, even with exercise, even with diet. And so this is something, now we have a tool that you can use on those areas, okay? So again, you're part of a great company. You're a business owner. You have a business. You're part of a great company, right? You have a product that is in high demand, and it really is. A lot of people that don't express an interest in this don't understand it. Okay, they don't understand what the product is. When you know, it's very important to learn how to present this in a simple way so that people understand this. And one of the best ways, and you'll see posts on this, is we have an all-natural wrap that you can apply anywhere on your body that tones, tightens, and firms in 45 minutes to an hour. And what's important is to show them, and Pam Souder, who is the VP of Marketing and the co-founder of this company, will tell you the things that, you know, she's religious about this. Get wraps on people. That is one of the most important things that you can do. Get a wrap on a person, okay, and let them see the results. Let them know that you don't always see results, but 99% of the people that try these see something. So you want to get the wraps on people. So how do you do that? How many of you have done any blitzing? Just talk to complete strangers. How has that gone? I'll ask you guys. How has that gone for you?
It works for
Good.
me.
Okay. You?
Well, I'm new. It's actually overwhelming for me now. Like, I'm just surprised that some of the people are, you know, once I've done it, people are actually calling me back. And I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. Like I am. Ask her. Like, I'm overwhelmed.
Isn't it
overwhelmed me.
Isn't it great? And you know what you gotta have? You gotta have faith. It's a product everybody wants, that most people want. Most people want to change the way that they look. And as I mentioned at another training, even guys now, guys getting their hair colored, doing facials, manicures, pedicures. I mean, we want to look the best that we can, especially as we age. And so it's something that's of interest. Again, what I find is that most people that aren't interested don't understand, and so that's why it's so important to keep it simple when you're presenting. And you can present this to everybody. Rachel has this wonderful niche of clients that she works with in her full-time job in the medical field. Was it a couple of plastic surgeons and people in those areas? They see the benefits of this. They see this is something simple that can be an ancillary service to what they offer. Liposuction, all of these different things where people go to augment the way they look, costs thousands of dollars. Okay, some of them are very painful. There was a lady that I spoke with not too long ago that was talking about, it was at my daughter's dance studio, who was talking about getting a body wrap done to lose weight. And they would wrap her entire body, and some of you may have heard of this, and then you exercise, you jump on a trampoline or something like that for like an hour.
Done it.
Okay. Okay, so I mean, it's just, it's almost like this kind of a slight mummification process.
It's very funny too.
And so, and I mean, is there anything on the wraps? Is there anything, or is it just based? I mean, are you just sweating it out, or I mean, what's?
It's a mineral.
They soak it in something.
It's like soaked in a mineral, and it does work.
Okay.
I mean, I think he does a really good job, because he actually educated me on all the different types of wraps, and because of that knowledge that he gave me, it actually, before I contacted Rachel and I looked at the ingredients of this, I knew that we had a credible product because of how much, but he's a very rare bird in a sense, and I would say anybody else out there that does the wraps, they are doing the dehydrating ones that are mostly, but his is actually a decent one.
Okay. So there are all kinds of systems out there, but most of them painful, very time consuming. Expensive.
Uncomfortable.
Yes, I mean, who wants to wrap your entire body and jump on a trampoline for an
And
hour?
you're like, it's painful. Like my veins pop out because they're so tight. You're like and it's horrible. It's horrible.
And so again, easy to use, inexpensive, no pain, all natural. I mean, you really have a winning combination here. Okay. In sharing this, it's hard sometimes for us to approach people that we don't know. My wife does not like blitzing. I mean, I'll tell her all the time, oh my gosh, I think that person is a... You know when this company starts to affect you.
You've already scanned them out.
When you look at people, the first thing you think of is, she could use a wrap. Or she could use a wrap. I mean, you start to think that way. Okay, you look at people and the first thing you think of is they need to be wrapped somewhere. And it's really bad when your husband starts to go, I think he could use a wrap.
Yes.
And I tell my wife that all the time. And my wife is not crazy about blitzing. So I go and hand out cards all the time. And think of it like this. Blitzing someone is not the most effective means, but you can find amazing people in blitzing, okay, in sharing this. Get over the fear of blitzing because, again, what are two of the most important aspects of people's lives? Health and finances. You now have something that can address both of those. And you will hear story after story after story of people that have been blitzed, and this has turned their life around. There's another Rachel on our team who, on her way to Atlanta, said that she had actually spoken to 3 people, and I don't remember if it was all 3 of them, but some of them said, I feel that you were put in my path. This is something that I've been waiting for, whether it was the product or whether it was the business opportunity. This is something that I've been waiting for. I can't tell you how many times we hear, I've been praying for something. I was praying for something new. I don't like my job. I'm unhappy. I'm unhealthy. I've been asking for something, okay? You don't know how you can affect someone's life. And this is an opportunity where you truly can affect people's lives. And we receive dozens of emails and texts all the time. Lydia Diaz at the at the conference just lately. Her and her husband, car accident. And you can see it online on some pages. But she had to borrow money in order to start this. Beautiful girl. Her and her husband. Have some kids, and they got into a car accident. Having trouble financially. They've been doing this for a few months. Someone introduced this to her, and she'll tell you this has completely changed her life. It's changed their health. He recently retired, so now he can stay home with the family. There are such blessings that this opportunity brings. And when you're out blitzing and talking to people, you're going to hear no all the time. And people that are in the sales industry, my gosh, we hear no more often than we hear yes. You just keep on because you have an amazing product and an amazing business opportunity. This is what I always say. I always say lead with the products. Talk to them about the wraps. And then you can learn about other things that they need and you can go into that. I would be very careful when you approach people about the business opportunity first unless they mention something to you about it. Because if someone were to walk up to me and say, oh my gosh, I have this great business opportunity for you. Would you like to hear about it? Or, hey, I have an opportunity where you can make some extra money on the side. Those are things that, all of a sudden immediately your wall kind of goes up. And we have a tendency to think of other companies that operate in that manner. Hey, you look like a smart person, I have a great business opportunity here, where you can earn a little extra money on the side, okay? So it really is very important on how you approach people and how you present this, but be yourself. Just be a natural person. Talk about it, and I mentioned this at your party. My wife tells me I'm the worst blitzer in the world because I'll start out, hey, and then all of a sudden I kind of go into, corporate mode. And she says, you just get so serious and you get so intense, you just need to be relaxed and just talk about it. So I can talk a good game, okay? When it comes to performance, I have a little trouble with the blitzing, but you'd be amazed at people's lives that you can affect, and you really can, okay? You have a great opportunity to do so. So have faith that this is a wonderful opportunity and can truly change people's lives. How many of you have attended a corporate event? Just you? Okay. Try to make the time to go to one because you will hear stories about leaders and the things that they've done, and you'll hear the effects of the things that they've done on people's lives. And there will be other people there that someone spoke with and said, no, I'm not interested. And someone spoke with them again and they said, I'm not interested. And they finally got involved and it completely changed their life in 6 months. Okay? A little bit about my story, just so you have an idea of where we come from. 14 months in the business. When my wife first started this, and what you're getting tonight is a little bit of a perspective from a man, from a husband, from a father, from someone who's been in corporate America, from someone who has had their own business, from a risk taker, but also a little bit of a skeptic. And let me tell you about my own business. When I started my own business, it was a retail business. So we had a brick and mortar location. We did custom furniture and Murphy beds, the kind of beds that come out of walls. Now, I'm not a lover of custom furniture and Murphy beds, but I had a buddy who was the manufacturer. We knew distributors. We got a great deal on a location, got a great location. I had people, I knew people that were our friends that were in the industry, so it just made sense. With all of that, with all of the pros that we had going into this business, my business partner and I still spent close to about $15,000 to do the build out, to get our showroom up and running, to get inventory. When my wife said, hey, this is something that I think I'd like to try, and maybe I'll get involved as a distributor as well. And I said, how much is it? She said, it's $99. So I'll spend $15,000 on opening up a business with a sign and inventory and countless hours. But here's something that she can do from home in the comfort of her house on Facebook, and it's $99 to get started. And it's a product that, it's focused on women. It's a health and beauty product, and I was like, I just don't think this is something that you really should do. I don't think it's something. And I always say the best advice, or the best thing my wife has ever done was not listen to me on this aspect. Okay? In 4 months, she replaced her income as a teacher. She was an elementary school teacher. So not hard to do. Not knocking teachers, but they don't make a lot of money. So in 4 or 5 months, replacing her income, not hard to do. I had a 6-figure income as a sales manager for a corporate software company. In 7 months, we replaced my income. Now we're looking at monthly incomes now. Okay, you break down $100,000, $9,000 a month. So after 7 to 8 months, we replaced my income. 9 months, we replaced both of our incomes. So now we were making more doing this than we did both of us working together. And it's just continued from there. You'll hear stories of how dozens and dozens of women have been able to, what they refer to as retire their husbands, is what they call them. So they're making enough money that it actually, it exceeds what their husbands are bringing home monthly. And so, why would your husband spend all that time going to work and driving when you're making enough money to cover his income? So they retire their husbands. So this is a real opportunity, okay? And for those people that will stick with it, I think that's the biggest key here. You're going to get discouraged. There'll be times when business goes up. There'll be times when, business is down. You'll talk to people and you hear, no. Do not get discouraged. The people that make it in this business are the ones that stick with it. I love, this was the Success from Home magazine that came out in February or March. And it's all about this company. It's all about It Works, and it's all about the people that are in it. And one of the things that I think is most impactful about this is that these people, the leaders in this company, people that are making over $100,000 a month, are people just like you and I. They're no different. They're not geniuses. They're not superheroes. They're people just like you and I. They're nurses. They're wives of soldiers. They're office workers. They're stay-at-home mothers. They got involved because they wanted to make a few extra dollars on the side. And they stuck with it. And they shared it like it was a recipe. And they are now some of the top income earners in this company. To my knowledge, of the top 10 income earners, there's only one couple that were professionals. One was the young lady that was a clinical psychologist, and I think her husband, I don't remember what he was he an accountant?
I can't remember.
Something like that. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I think you're right.
but most of the other ones, had a husband that worked outside doing something outside of the home, and it was a stay-at-home mother. But the people in this magazine, the people, and there's hundreds and hundreds of them, and the company has, I think, about 50,000 distributors. Again, are people just like you and I that have just stuck with it and that have shared it. Now, when you get involved in the business, one of the most important things that I feel, and this is how my wife has built her business, work closely with the people that you enroll, okay? I have yet to see a business or an organization where the team affects you. What the team does affects you, and what you do affects the team, okay? This is a team environment, without a doubt. You cannot excel, you will not be successful in this company without being part of the team. It's just designed that way. It's not that you don't have the capability. It's just designed to be done as a team, and you can't do it any other way. And the people that will work with their team, that will help build their team, that will support their team, that will bring on distributors and make sure that they're trained and work with them and help them to promote, will promote just as quickly. And you will see a tremendous return. Those individuals that get involved and all of a sudden try to go it alone, they want to form their own little group, and they kind of want to go off and do their own little thing, have a tendency to find it more difficult. So work as a group. Support your distributors. Okay? Make sure they're trained. Find out what they're doing. Okay? Again, this is your business, so CEO to janitor. So part of that is training and making sure that your distributors understand the things that they need. Keep the process simple. Truly, the steps to success. You'll hear that over and over and over. Follow the steps to success. And they're just steps as to how you build your business. And there's a roadmap to this. There really is a roadmap, certain criteria that you have to reach, and you work to reach that criteria. And when you do, then you will promote. And it's that simple. It is just a process that you continue to follow. The great thing about this business is that it's easy to replicate. It's easy to duplicate. And that's why it's so successful. It's not some convoluted process. There are certain criteria that you reach that criteria, you make sure that everyone's doing what they need to do, that they have the volume that they need, and I'll let someone who knows more about volume and positioning, and I'll talk to you about that. I will call with my wife, because she's very good about that. Charting people properly. Live and die by that chart. You guys, do you know what the chart looks like? All the different squares, the different blocks, you've all seen that? Okay. At the end of the month, you're going to live and die by that. Okay? So make sure that you're working as a team. Okay? Work closely with them. Make sure that they have the training that they need, that they feel comfortable going out and doing this. Okay? And this will grow. It will grow faster than you can imagine. The next thing you know, it's a great feeling to have people contact you and say, hey, I'm interested in those wrap things. Can you tell me more about that? Or where can I get some wraps? Or, I'm interested in becoming a distributor. Can I join your team, or how do I go about, and that happens all the time, okay?
Or they say, you remember me? And I say,
Absolutely. I do. How are you, sweetie? I haven't talked to you so long. Everything's
and I did. I said, oh yeah. She said one place, like I vaguely, and then she said the name of the place that I met her at. I was like, oh, I know I frequent that place.
Right.
So I just said, oh yeah, because I know I've talked to at least probably a dozen people. So, oh yeah, how are you?
And there are people that you talk to that, no, it's not at this time, but they'll hear about it. They'll hear about it down the road. Or they'll come across something, or you'll reach them at a certain time. And they'll be more open to the opportunity, because we're all busy. We've got families, we've got work, there are all kinds of different things that are going on, relationships. So you present something at one point and their mind's somewhere else. They're not thinking, okay, whatever. You get them at a different time, and now they're open to this. Don't be afraid to reach back out. Follow up with people. If you've spoken with someone, right now I'm in, my turn. There were about 7 or 8 individuals I spoke with months ago. We're now, and my wife and I are now in a different place in our business. And so now I have personal stories to share. The company's done some great things, won some awards. Mark Pentecost, Florida Entrepreneur of the Year. So the company's done some amazing things. So now's a great opportunity to circle back around with them with some new information. New greens, just something that now I can present to these people. Hey, here's something else that's going on with this company. We passed the sales of, some other much larger direct sales companies. Which was tremendous, because we have 1/10 of the distributor force that they do. And we're passing them in sales. So this company is growing, and there's a ton of interest. So don't be afraid to follow up with people. You're not bothering them. Trust me, if someone said to me, you know what, I'm going to follow up with you and I'm going to keep on, but eventually you're going to get involved in this, and in a couple months you're going to be able to retire, your wife's going to be able to retire. Within a year or two, your college is going to be paid for you for all your kids. You're going to be debt-free. Would you go? Absolutely. In hindsight, follow up with me. Follow up with me as many times as you want. Don't be afraid to follow up with people.
I just wanted to have you, from the man perspective, when Christy started that first 4 months,
Sure.
what it was like for you as she was going through the process. I don't know if she was working as a teacher at the time, I think she was in season or not, but I remember you bringing that up and called yourself the Manny.
Right.
Just kind of share with them what it was like, because a lot of them, unfortunately, don't have my rock star of a husband who's used to putting up with an entrepreneur spirit. So we need a little bit of love that the ladies could share with their husbands, what it was like for you.
All right. How many of you have ever had your own business in any shape or form? Have you had your own business? Okay. When you start your own business, it even if it doesn't require a lot of money, it only requires a lot of time. It takes some time and effort to build. People need to know that you're in business. And so that requires marketing or advertising, whatever form that is. And a lot of times that requires getting out and talking to people, putting in a little face time. And that was the situation with us. Here's my wife and I. We've got 3 small children at home. She wasn't pregnant yet. If we'd only known. And so the best way for her to start this was to actually get out and meet people, to get out in little groups like this, to talk with her friends and to share it so they can see. Because you can talk about this all day long, but there's something that clicks when people see that. When you show them the little package and you open up, you show them the wrap, okay, it clicks. They're like, oh my gosh, that's easy, it's simple. So she needed to be out. So at the time, she was teaching, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 classes a week at various times, night and day. I was working full-time as a sales rep. We had 3 small children. And so it was difficult because there's this, the ship's passing in the night. I literally would come home from work as she's running out the door. There were times that she'd call me and say, I've got a wrap party, something's come up, there's some people that are interested, can you come home a little early? So we literally, for weeks, would just pass each other. Kids, going to bed, or mommy's at a wrap party. Those sometimes are, those are the sacrifices that you make when you're building something. And it doesn't always have to be that way, but there are sacrifices. And so I'm cooking. When I say I became the Manny, I'm still working a full-time job at night. I'm coming home, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm putting bathing the kids, putting them to bed. You do that night after night. I have such a respect for all of you and mothers now. Such a respect. But it does take a little bit of a toll, and so it's very important. I think it's very important. You know, communication is the biggest thing. Christy would tell me about what's going on, and she would talk to me about the business, and she would talk about the potential, because she got to know people that had been doing this, and everyone's going through the same thing. All of the people that are the top income earners in this company, they will tell you the same thing. The husband will get up there and they will say, my wife started this, and so we didn't have a decent meal for months, and I didn't see her, and I had to put the kids to bed, and I would do the laundry, and I would, all the whites now pink. And, I mean, you hear all these stories because men, because the women are out building this business, and so the men are at home, and where's the iron? What's an iron? Do we have cooking pans? Where are they? And so these are things. It's very important to have an open communication with your husband. And I am available, and I've probably spoken with about 10 husbands in the course of this business process. But communicate with them and talk to them about the potential here. One of the things that I always did was I always tried to be supportive. It wasn't always easy when you're taking on all these responsibilities and you have a full-time job. And many of you are experiencing that. Many of you have full-time jobs and you're doing this and you have children. And so it can put a stress on your relationship, because for any of you that have built a business, you know that it takes time. It takes time to build it. I mean, you have a brick and mortar location.
Yes.
And that takes more time. What's great about this is that it's gotten to the point now where you can build a large portion of this business by using different mediums of social media, okay? And that makes it much easier. There's still going to be those wrap parties, okay? There's still going to be events that are going to come up. You really should attend corporate events. So there are going to be different things that are happening that are going to require you to be away from the house, okay? So communication really is very important. And you'll hear that about just in relationships in general, but talk to your spouse, your husband, or whoever about the potential here. Because as a man, I just see my wife coming and going, and nothing's really happening. I mean, in any business, the first couple of months, you don't see anything. I mean, you're spending a lot of time and your effort, and I would, every month around the 15th, I would ask my wife, what do we make? $200. $200? That doesn't even pay for the gas. The second month, what'd you make? $430. And I'm out with a calculator, I'm going, you're losing money like crazy. Third month, there's $1,000.
Okay.
And even then, you're like, okay, there's something about when you get into four figures that men go, okay, all right. But even then, I'm like, $1,000, that's great, but your time and effort and everything, you're gone 3-4 nights a week. Now, it doesn't always require that, but my wife, like a lot of people, just dove into this. She loved it. There was a social connection that she made with other women. It was new in this area, and she was all in. And, 4 or 5 nights a week she was gone. She's 3.5 months pregnant. I mean, she's walking around ready to deliver at any time. Last week I think she did three or 4 wrap parties. They were all for other people. We drove down to Melbourne on Wednesday, and we did a party down there. Ended up staying overnight, but there were a group of women down there that were very interested, and so she is all into this. You don't have to approach it like that, okay? All of you do business, and so you can work in different ways. But consistency, be consistent. Communicate with your significant other, spouse or otherwise, okay? Talk to them about the potential here. Talk to people like me that have been through it. Talk to other people, kind of get a support group, because it's important for husbands to know that we're all focused on the money. We are. And and it wasn't until my wife got involved that she completely changed. I mean, she's a nicer person because she has this social connection. We've built great friendships, her and I both, in this. And so there's a lot that you can get out of this. There's a lot that your husband can get out of this. It's not just the business and the money, but let them know. Work with them. Try to. It's so funny because we're not really complex. We're not complex animals. A little TLC, and a little, I say, you kind of, I'm not sure what this means, but you deal with us the right way,
Brown chicken, brown cow.
and we're really easy. I always say, you want to make a man happy, you feed him, you rub his belly, and you let him go out and you play with other men every now and then, and he's happy. He's like kind of like a dog. I mean, and so he's very happy. But communicate and let them know what's going on, and just like a business, you use logic on it. Anyone that started their own business, it's going to be a few months before you see anything. We said we would give it 3 months, and we'd work as hard as we could. And for me, working as hard as I could, it meant watching the kids and being supportive at home, and it was not easy. But she stuck with it, and then come month 4, our first thought was, gosh, it'd be great if we could just make $2,000 or $3,000 a month. That's what our goal was, $2,000 or $3,000 a month, because that's car payments, that's a house payment. That takes care of a lot. That takes a lot of weight off. Just that. I mean, $1,000 extra a month for people is life changing. Month 4 comes around. I think it was like $2,500. That makes a difference. And now she tells me it's going to be like this or more every month. It's not just a one-time thing. This is going to continue to build. And if I can build this, you're talking to yourself. If I can build this, if you'll work with me to build this business, it's going to be like this now every single month, and it's only going to increase. I mean, we are making more money than we ever imagined in 14 months. In 14 months, our lives have completely changed. And a lot of the people in this magazine, people just like you and I, they're no different. Okay, their lives are changing. Debt-free. Kids' colleges paid for. Okay, houses paid for, cars paid for. All of these things, these burdens, these worries that we have. Health. A lot of times we talk about money, we get focused on the money. The health aspect of this, completely different. I can't tell you how many husbands now are on greens. How many husbands take greens every single day? How many husbands rap? They'll never tell you they do. Husbands rap. Husbands that are using facials. There's a great facial rap. Okay. Fat, all of these different things. Dermafit. I mean, you'd be amazed at how many husbands now are on these products, and now the husbands are losing weight and they're getting in shape and they're feeling better. And you know who are the craziest people at these corporate events? You know the craziest people? The husbands. The husbands are the craziest, and they come in green, tight jeans and green shoes, and they're wearing the funky shirts. I mean, husbands are the craziest ones at a lot of these events, okay? Because they see the potential here. They see the potential for health and for money.
So I do want to clarify, he does have a full-time job even though he's retired. He's the official man.
Yeah, this thing about, I retired my husband is crap.
No, his wife works the business.
I drive my kids to school, I pick them up, I do the laundry,
he's the
I
mom.
cook,
Now you're the morning and the
I do the
afternoon.
dishes,
He's
that's
the
right.
man.
I mop and dust and vacuum and
You guys need to hire an inning.
I iron, man, my excitement now is like getting a new Shark vacuum, because I'm like, this makes my life a little bit easier.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But I'm telling you, in a year's time, our life has completely changed, and we just hear story after story of so many people that are trying these products and getting involved in this business. I mean, calling up and crying because they can do things with their family. Their husbands can stay home instead of traveling all the time and missing, dance recitals and sporting. And, I mean, you guys know, we're all there. And I never would have guessed in a million years that something like this, something so simple, could make such an impact in our life and in so many other people's lives. The secret to this, okay, you'll hear people giving you all kinds of counsel, and the secret to this is consistency, is being consistent. That is it, okay? Talk to people. Whether you blitz, whether you don't, get on Facebook, okay? Use some of these other forms of social media. Share it with people. I have people all the time, I talked to a few people and they're not interested, and I talked to some other people that have already heard about it and they've signed up with someone else, and, or they're not interested. And after a couple of weeks, they want to give up. And I did a post not too long ago. Just think if you had invested in a business yourself, if you started your own business and you spent thousands and thousands of dollars of getting your business up and running, and you didn't have anyone come into your store the first month or two, would you just close the doors? Would you just say, oh yeah, no one's coming in, no one's interested, that's it? No. You do more advertising. You send out mailers. You get out and you talk to people. This is a business. Get out and work it. Stay consistent. Consistently talk to people. Follow up with people. It will make a difference, and they will thank you. They absolutely will thank you for getting them involved in this. Madra, one of the top 3 income earners. I heard, and you hear all kinds of wild stories about what some of the top people make. But anyway, wild story. She's making around $200,000 a month. She's been doing this for about 2 years now. Okay. She was a former, $200,000 a month. She was a former salon owner and got involved with the wraps, and her story's in here. That's the great thing. The top income earners, all of their stories are all in here. There's 20 of them. I think there's 20 people, so that all their stories are in here. And you can read it. They give you a little synopsis of what they did and how they came to this. There's a beautiful couple right there that you can read all about.
Could you tap on the fact too, and I really thought this was a really great point, when we are talking to either potential distributors or the new ones that have come on board, that even though there's these big top income earners, that there's so much more potential even for us still we could surpass even, some people that have just started have already surpassed what some people have been doing now for a few years.
There was a post, and I thought it was extremely impactful. The top income earners a year ago, so the ones that are making between 100 and I think the top income earner is $260,000 a month or something like that, somewhere around there. Okay, a year ago, that range was $2,000 to $30,000. Okay, so a year ago, the top income earner in the company, actually it's a little bit more than $30,000, but a year ago, most of the top income earners in the company were making between $2,000, which means they just started, and $30,000, which is average for ambassador. So within a year's time, their incomes have quadrupled. That is the beauty of building a strong foundation and working with a team. Okay? For those of you that have been in sales, any type of sales, when you make a sale, well, let me rephrase that. When one of your other reps makes a sale, what do you get out of it? Nothing. You get nothing. If my partner makes a sale, I get nothing. If guy on the other team makes a sale, I get I get maybe a little job security because the company's bringing in business, but I get nothing unless I make the sale. Build a strong team. Work with your distributors, and it's like being a sales manager. You get a little bit of what these people make, and that's how these incomes continue to swell, is by working as a team. Okay, so there's a reward in it for you spending your time. My wife works this every single day. 8.5 months, she works this business every single day, from a few hours after she gets up until late into the night. Most of it online, on her phone, on Facebook, every single day. 99% of the work that she does for other people. For other people. I mean, even to the point where sometimes I'm like, you have a wrap party for you? Do you want to? But she understands the beauty of helping others and building a business. And we have been rewarded, 100 times over by people whose lives have changed, and also by the income that's coming in. I mean, I don't like talking about income because I think there's so much more to this than income. But income is a motivator for a lot of people, and it pays the rent, it pays car payments, it helps get insurance for your kids, it puts them in school, and it does all these things. We need money to live. Okay. I never would have imagined, but in 14 months, my wife, a former elementary school teacher, no sales experience, no business experience, okay, Pilates instructor, spinning instructor. I mean, we're heading into month 15, and we are approaching a 6-figure a month income. Never, ever would I have believed that was even possible. Monthly. 6 figures of $100,000 a month. And I'm just like you. I'm no different than you guys. My wife is just like you guys. I mean, we're not geniuses, we're not rocket scientists. She's just found her niche, loves this, and shares it like it's like she's talking about our kids or about family. It's just become a part of our lives. It's just a natural, easygoing way. If you met my wife, sweetest, down-to-earth person, she's not some A personality, She's not intense, she's not, Rachel here's a little, she's a little A personality. She's strong. She's, all right, she's a businesswoman. She's out there. She's aggressive and driven. My wife, laid back, easy, just easy.